WAEC 2023 Objective Question 11. We have a question that says if m ratio n, that's m to the ratio of n, is equals to 2 raised to the power of 1 over 3 ratio 1 over 5. 1 number 1 over 5. Similarly, n ratio q is equals to 1 number 1 over 2 ratio 1 number 1 over 3. We should find q ratio m. Q ratio m. Now, how do we solve this? The best way to solve this is such a way that, okay, let's proceed. Let's proceed first. Then, now let's expand this expression now, and we'll have that m ratio n is equals to 2 number 1 over 3 ratio 1 number 1 over 5. Now we can see the common factor between these two, n and n. You can see n and n. So with that, we can also write n ratio q to be equals to 1 number, putting the value of n on n ratio 1 number 1 over 3. So to get q ratio m now, we have to ensure that these two values of n must be equal. If the two values of n are equal, then we can have the values of m and q. If the two values of n are equal, we can have the values of m and q. And from the values of m and q, we will have the values of q and m. So in essence, what we first have to look for is the value of m ratio n ratio q. Okay, and then once we have the value of q and n, then we can just make the value of q ratio m. So how do we solve this now? We solve this to ensure that these two values are equal. So let's begin. The first thing we will do, okay, is to convert these to improper fractions. So we have m ratio n. So O number 1 over 3 is equivalent to 7 over 3, and 1 number 1 over 5 is equivalent to 6 over 5. Similarly, we have n ratio q. Let me write it under n ratio q. 1 number 1 over 2 is equivalent to 3 over 2, and 1 number 1 over 3, just as we have here, is equivalent to 4 over 3. So now let's now simplify all this, and to simplify this now we have to multiply this by the LCM. So we're multiplying this by 15, and n ratio q we are going to multiply by the LCM, which is 6. So in view of that, m ratio n, okay, m ratio n now will be equals to, when we multiply 7 over 3 by 15, we'll be left with 35. And when we multiply 6 over 5 by 15, we'll be left with 18. In the same vein, when we have n ratio q, we are multiplying 3 over 2 by 6, and that means we'll be left with 9. I'm multiplying 4 over 3 by 6 now. In that sense, we'll be left with 8. So put the brackets here for understanding sake. Now once we have that now, remember our target. Our target is to make these two values of n to be equal. These two values of n to be equal, and likewise these two values of n to be equal. Now for 18, we have 18 and 9. For this one to be equal now, we have to multiply this by 2. We'll multiply this 2 by 2 because 9 multiplied by 2 is equals to 18. So let's simplify further. So in view of that, let's just repeat m ratio n. M ratio n now will be equals to 35 ratio 18, and n ratio q will be equals to 9 multiplied by 2, which is 18, and 8 multiplied by 2, which is 16. Now that we have these two to be equal, that is n. So we can easily combine these two expressions and say that m ratio n ratio q, that means we have combined these two together now, will be equals to, you can say 35 ratio 18 ratio 16. So this is m ratio n ratio q. Now in this case now, what is the value of m ratio q? Since we have combined them together, we can now find the value of m, okay, ratio q. M ratio q, we'll just take the value of m to be 35. Okay, m ratio q 35, and the value of q, which is what, 16. So this is m ratio q. Now the question asks us to find the value of q ratio m. So therefore we are saying that q ratio m, let's use q ratio m is just going to be swapping these two together, and that will give us 16 ratio 35. 16 ratio 35 is equivalent to option A. So we can see now, we started with m ratio n and n ratio q, combine them together in such a way that we made n here to be equals. So we have 18, 18. We combine them to have m ratio n ratio q, and we have m ratio q, and now we have q ratio m. Now let's proceed on to WAEC 2023 objective question 12. We're given that 1/3 the sum of two numbers is 12, twice their difference is 12. To find the numbers. So let's say let the first number be equals to x, and let the second number be equals to y. Excuse me. First number be equals to x and the second number be equals to y. Now we have the expression of sum and difference. So let's look at the sum and also look at the difference. Now in the expression of sum, we have x plus y, and in the expression of difference, we have x minus y. So if we look closely now, let's consider the first line of the question. It says that 1/3 of the sum, that's 1/3 of this, is equals to 12. That's for the first line of the question. And moving on, we can go to the second line of the question that says twice the difference, that means this multiplied by 2 is also equals to 12. So if you go back to the sum expression, we can simplify this where we multiply both sides by 3, and this will give us x plus y is equals to 36. And if we move to the difference section, that will multiply or divide both sides by 2 rather, we have x minus y to be equals to 6. Now with this, now we have two equations which you can write out and say this is x plus y is equals to 36, and similarly x minus y is equals to 6. You can call this equation 1 and call this equation 2. Now all you just have to do is to solve for the two equations, for the two expressions x and y. So let's use elimination method. Let's add equation 1 and also equation 2 together. So adding equation 1 to equation 2, we have this to give us 2x is equals to 42. So x will be equals to 42 divided by 2, so we have x to be equals to 21. Now that we have found the value of x, we can also solve the value of y. So we say from equation 1, the equation 1 says x plus y is equals to 36. So we substitute the value of x, 21 plus y is equals to 36. So with this we have y to be equals to 36 minus 21 minus 21. So this will result into 15. So we have y to be equals to 15. So now we have the two values of x, the two numbers. We have x and we have y. So we have x is equals to 21 and y is equals to 15. So these are the two numbers. So to check now, let's check to confirm that what we did is correct. So we want to check, and the first expression, that's the first line of the question, says 1/3 of the two numbers. That means 1/3 of 21 plus 15 should be equals to what? Should be equals to 12. So 21 plus 15 is equals to 36, and 1/3 of 36 is equals to 12. So this is checked. Similarly, twice the difference should be equals to 12. So that means we are saying 1/2, sorry, twice, that's 2 multiplied by 21 minus 15. So 21 minus 15 is equals to 6. So 2 multiplied by 6 is also equals to 12. So we have the two answers of 21 and 15 to be correct, which is equivalent to option A. Moving on to WAEC 2023 objective question 13. Now the question says we should find the quadratic equation whose roots are 2/3 and -3/4. Now we have been seeing this form of question being repeated at so many places, both in WAEC and also in JAM. So let's begin. We have the roots to be equals to 2/3 and also -3/4. Now, in view of that, now we will look at the options. We will see that it is represented by y. The equation, quadratic equation, is represented by y squared plus this minus this or plus this is equals to 0. Now, so in view of that, we will say y is equals to 2/3, and also that y is equals to -3/4. And we can solve this using factors method, which should be probably what we use. So we will have that if we cross multiply here, we'll have 3y is equals to 2, and here we'll have 4y is equals to -3. So in view of this, 3y minus 2 is equals to 0, and also 4y plus 3 is equals to 0. So these are the factors now, these factors of the quadratic equation, and here we have the roots. So the quadratic equation now will just be the multiplication of the factors. So that means we have 3y minus 2 being multiplied by 4y plus 3, so be equals to 0. And when we multiply this out, we'll have the quadratic equation. So this means we'll have 3y multiplied by 4y plus 3 minus 2 being multiplied by 4y plus 3 is equals to 0. So when we open the bracket here, we'll have 12y squared, okay, plus 9y minus 8y minus 6 to be equals to 0. So this will result into 12y squared plus y minus 6 to be equals to 0. And this stands for equation option C. Now we have solved using the factors method. Now what if we solve using maybe the equation of like the formula for quadratic equation? Now let's go back and let's write out the formula. The formula for quadratic equation states that y squared, okay, minus the sum of roots y, the sum of the roots multiplied by y. Then with this we are going to add it to the product of roots. So this is the formula for quadratic equation. We have the product of roots. And zoom in, product of roots. and everything will be equals to 0. So now let's begin with the roots. What are the roots? We have y to be equals to 2 over 3 and minus 3 over 4. So if these are the roots, then we can just make the substitution easily. So we have y squared, the roots being 2 over 3 plus minus 3 over 4y, and the product of roots will be 2 over 3 multiplied by minus 3 over 4. So is equals to 0. So when we resolve this now, we will have y squared minus, this will result into 2 over 3 minus 3 over 4y, and this would result into minus 2 over 4, minus 2 over 4, which is equals to 0. So 2 over 3 minus 3 over 4y can be written simply when we simplify using LCM. We will have it to give us minus 1 over 12y, and this will give us plus minus 1 over 2. Oops, minus 1 over 2 to be equals to 0. So with that done, when we open the bracket, we'll have y squared plus 1 over 12y, and this will give us 1 over 2 to be equals to what? 0. So we can multiply all through now by 12. That's the LCM. So multiplying all through by 12, this will give us 12y squared plus y minus 6 to be equals to 0. And this is still option C. Now, if you look at it well now, whatever way we use, whether we use the quadratic equation formula or we use the factors method, we will arrive at the same option of 12y squared plus y minus 6, 12y squared plus y minus 6 to be equals to 0. Let's move on to WAEC 2023 objective question 14. We are asked to make x the subject of the relation, and we are given that y is equals to ax raised to the power of 3 minus b divided by 3z. Now we want to make x the subject of the relation, or what we know as the subject of the formula. So the first thing we will do is to cross multiply. So let's cross multiply. And when we cross multiply, we will have y multiplied by 3z is equals to ax raised to the power 3 minus b. So when we multiply out, we'll have 3yz is equals to ax raised to the power of 3 minus b. Okay, ax raised to the power of 3 minus b is to the power of 3 minus b. Moving on, remember our target is to make x solve the formula. So now we can move minus b here to the right hand side. So we are just going to add b to both sides. So this will result into 3yz plus b, which is equals to ax raised to the power of 3. Now once that is done, we can divide both sides by a. So when we divide both sides by a, divide this also by a, we'll be left with x raised to the power of 3 on the right hand side. So this will be x raised to the power of 3, and we will have on the left hand side 3yz plus b divided by a. Now once we have x raised to the power of 3, now to get x, now we'll take the third root of both sides. So take the third root, the square, some say third or cube, take the cube root or third root of both sides. So with that done, now we will have this right hand side to give us x raised to the power of 3 with the third root, and the left hand side will be 3yz plus b divided by a with the third root. Now this will result into x, because we'll understand that the third root will nullify the cube, and we will have x to be equals to the third root. Okay, we have x to be equals to the third root of 3yz. Okay, three yz plus b divided by a. Now with this, now we have solved the equation, and now x is the Pareto formula, which is equivalent to option C. WAEC 2023 objective question 15. The question says the price of a shoe was decreased by 22%. If the new price is $27.3, what is the original price? So we are looking for the original price given the new price, and we know that the new price is when the original price is decreased by 22%. Now let us call the original price x. Let the original price be equals to x. Original price be equals to x. Now the new price is when the original price, okay, is decreased by 22%. So we have the original price being decreased by 22% of the original price. So with that done, we can now find the value of x, because we know that the new price is $27.03, and this is x minus 22% of x. So now let us evaluate the value of x, because x is the original price. So we have 27.3 to be equals to x minus, this will give us 22 over 100 multiplied by x, and we have 27.3 to be equals to x minus 0.22 multiplied by x, 0.22 multiplied by x. So we have 27.3 to be equals to x minus 0.22x. So we have 27.3, x minus 0.22x will give us 0.78x. So we can easily find the value of x when we divide both sides by 0.78. That's 27.3 divided by 0.78. And interestingly, this would give us a perfect answer of $75. So x is equals to 35.00. The unit is dollars. So with this, we have it to give us option D. Now what we just did was just to interpret the question, the original price, the new price, and find the original price. Now I want to proceed further to WAEC 2023 objective question 16. The question says the radius and height of a solid cylinder are 8 cm and 14 cm respectively. Find, correct to 2 decimal places, the total surface area, and we are asked to take pi to be 22/7. So in view of that, let's begin. We have a solid cylinder with a height of 14 centimeters. H is 14 centimeters, and here the radius is 8 centimeters. And we are asked to find the total surface area, TSA. Now the total surface area of a solid cylinder is given as the 2 circles, that's 2 pi r squared, plus the embedded rectangle, which is 2 pi r h. So we factorize this using 2 pi r. So we have, let's factorize with 2 pi r, we'll be left with r plus h. So we can now apply this formula. We know that the r is 8 centimeters and h is equals to 14 centimeters. So applying the formula, we have 2, and we're given that pi is equals to 22 over 7. Pi is equals to 22 over 7. So now let's apply pi to be 22 over 7 here. So multiply by 22 over 7, multiplied by the radius, 8 centimeters, multiplied by the radius plus height, that's 8 plus 14. So this would give us 2 multiplied by 22 over 7, multiplied by 8, multiplied by 22, because 8 plus 14 is 22. This is 14. And if we use our calculator to do this, we will have this to give us 1106.289 centimeters squared. And this is approximately, remember the question says we should compare to 2 decimal places, and this will give us 1106.29 centimeters squared, which is equivalent to option B. Now, we want to look at something special about this question. The question says a solid cylinder. Now, when it comes to total surface area of a cylinder, we can have the total surface area of a solid cylinder. Solid cylinder means it is closed at both ends. We can also have another cylinder that is open at just one end, maybe closed at the other end. And likewise, we can have a cylinder that is open at both ends. A cylinder that is open at both ends. Now the question is, what is the total surface area of each, considering that they all have height and radius? So the total surface area of a cylinder that is closed at both ends is just similar to the question we solved, which will be 2 pi r squared, the 2 circles, and the embedded rectangle, plus 2 pi r h. And in this case, it is just a single circle, so the total surface area here will be pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. And in this case, there is no circle embedded in it, okay, because it is open at both ends. So that means this is 2 surface area is equals to just 2 pi r h. So whatever question we see, we should be able to apply the right answers. Moving on to question 17. We are given a diagram, and in the diagram, it is given that O is the center of the circle, NST, and NT is equals to ST. That means they are equal, as we can see. And angle NTS is 36 degrees. So we have this to be equals to 36 degrees. And we should find the measure of the angle mark T. So we are looking for angle T. Let's call it T in red. Now, how do we evaluate angle T? There are so many ways we can choose to evaluate angle T. When we consider triangle NRS now, so if you know this angle and this angle, we can say that let's call this R and let's call this N. So we'll just say that R plus N plus T is equals to 180 degrees. That's one way. Another way to evaluate this angle, okay, is by knowing the angle. This angle, let's call it S, and also this angle, let's call it P. If you know this angle, then we'll just say T plus S plus P is equals to 180 degrees, because the sum of angles on a straight line is 180 degrees. Now, these are the two possible ways to evaluate this angle T. Now let's proceed on how to solve it. Now, if you look closely to this diagram now, you will notice something. You will notice something that we have been doing. You notice angle at center, okay, and this will be the angle at circumference. And from circle geometry, you'll understand that the angle at center, okay, is equals to 2 times angle at circumference. So in view of this, we'll just write it the angles itself. So we are saying angle NOS, that is this angle at center here, is equals to 2 times angle NTS, that is given to be 36 degrees. So this will be 2 multiplied by 36 degrees, and then we will have NOS to give us angle NOS to give us 72 degrees. Now if we go back to this place and we impute 72 degrees to be the angle at center, then you will observe that ON is radius and OS is also radius. So with this, we are saying that base angles of isosceles triangle is equals to, they are equal, rather, they are not equals to anything. So base angles of isosceles triangle are equal. So we are saying this is S, and similarly this is S. So with this, we can evaluate S by saying that S plus 72 degrees plus S is equals to 180 degrees. Let's find a way to write in here. S plus 72 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. And the reason is sum of angles in a triangle. So let's put it in writing. And we are considering triangle NOS. Yeah, triangle NOS. And we're saying S plus 72 degrees is equals to 180 degrees. The reason is sum of angles in a triangle is equals to 180 degrees. So moving further, you will have 2S plus 72 degrees to be equals to 180 degrees. Then we'll have 2S to be equals to 180 degrees minus 72. And with this would be equals to 108 degrees. So 2S is equals to 108 degrees. And we will have the value of S to be equals to 108 divided by 2. And this will result into 54 degrees. Now once we have S to be equals to 54 degrees, according to S now, so we are saying that angle S, which is NSO and also NOS, or we can just say ONS. So NSO and ONS, NSO, okay, being equals to angle ONS is equals to S, which is equals to 54 degrees. Now we know S, we need to evaluate what the value of P is. Now if we look at this now, you will notice that line RSV is a line that meets the radius, okay, at point S. So we have a tangent. Similarly, we have angle R, or we have line RNM meeting at point N with the radius. So the relationship here says that when we have a tangent meeting with the radius at a circumference, the angle will be equals to 90 degrees, and this would also be equals to 90 degrees. So we are saying that line, okay, or let us use line, let's use tangent. Tangent meets, okay, radius or diameter, okay, at circumference. Circumference is also showing that it's tangent, so they are meeting radius at 90 degrees. So P is equals to 90 degrees, and likewise this angle here is 90 degrees. So with this, we have the value of P to be 90 degrees, but let's put it in writing. So we are saying that angle OSV is equals to 90 degrees. So angle OSV is equals to 90 degrees. The reason is tangent, okay, meets radius, at 90 degrees. So with view of that, we can now apply this principle that we have here, that t plus s plus p is equals to 180 degrees. So let's just rewrite that here, and we'll have a little value of t plus s plus p is equals to 180 degrees. P is equals to 90 degrees. S, okay, is equals to 54 degrees. Plus t, and this is equals to 180 degrees. So we are saying that t will be equals to 180 degrees minus 90 degrees minus 54 degrees, and we will have t to be equals to 36 degrees, which is equivalent to option A. So with this, we can see how we moved from angle at center is equals to 2 times angle at circumference. We consider the sum of angles in a triangle when a tangent meets a radius at angles 90 degrees, and then we consider angle on a straight line. Sum of angles on a straight line. Yep. And then we'll have a final answer that t is equals to 36 degrees, which is equivalent to option A. Now moving on to WAEC 2023 objective question 18. We have a sphere has radius 3 centimeters. Find in terms of pi its volume. So what we're just looking for is the volume of the sphere. Now we have a sphere, and what is the volume? So the volume of a sphere, V sphere, is given as 4 over 3 pi r square, pi r cube rather, 4 over 3 pi r cube. And we're given that the radius is equals to 3 centimeters. So with that, we can easily evaluate the volume. So let's just solve this now and say this will give us 4 over 3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 3 raised to the power of 3. Now if you read the question well, you'll see that find in terms of pi. So we are not converting pi to be 22 over 7. So if we simplify further, it's 4 over 3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. So this 3 can nullify this 3 and will be left in the numerator, or definitely the answer, to give us 4 multiplied by pi multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. So 4 multiplied by 3, 12. 12 multiplied by 3 would give us 36. So this will give us 36 pi, and the unit of volume is centimeter cube. And this is equivalent to option C. So all that we need is to know the formula for the volume. The volume of the sphere is 4 over 3 pi r cube. Now let's move forward to WAEC 2023 objective question 19. It says we should arrange the following numbers in ascending order of magnitude. We have 111 base 2, 31 base 8, 42 base 5. 110 sorry, base 2, 31 base 8, and likewise 42 to base 5. Now to get the ascending order, they are all in different base, 2, 8, and 5. We have to make sure that they are all in the same base. So we can all convert all of them to base 10, and then we'll arrange accordingly. So let's begin with 110 base 2. To convert to base 10, just like we did in question number 5. Okay, we can look at question number 5. We have 0, 1, and 2. So all we did was 1 multiplied by the multiplier, which is 2 raised to the power of 2. Plus 1, this 1 multiplied by 2 raised to the power of 1, and moving on to plus. Now we have 0 multiplied by 2 raised to the power of 0. 1 0 multiplied by 2 raised to the power of 0. So simplifying this now, we have 1 multiplied by 4 plus 1 multiplied by 2 plus 0, and anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. So simply this will give us 4 plus 2, and anything multiplied by 0 will give us 0, and this will give us 6 base 10. So we have converted 110 to be of base 2 to base 10, which is 6 base 10. Moving on, let's convert 31 base 8. 31 base 8. So this is simple. All we just have to do is to put in the powers there of 0 and 1. So the powers 0 and 1. So let's do this now together. This will give us 3 multiplied by the multiplier 8 is to the power of the powers of 1 plus 1 multiplied by 8 raised to the power of 0. So write this, and this would give us 3 multiplied by 8 plus 1. Anything raised to the power of 0 is 0. 1 multiplied by 1. So this will give us 24 plus 1, and this is 25 base 10. Now we have done for 31 base 8. Now let's finalize and do for 42 base 5. 42 to base 5. Just like we did earlier, just apply the same thing, 0 1, and applying this, we have 4 multiplied by 5 raised to the power of 1 plus 2 multiplied by 5 raised to the power of 0. So simplifying this, we'll have 4 times 5 plus 2, anything raised to the power of 0 is 1, 2 multiplied by 1. So we have 20 plus 2, and we are left with 22 base 10. Let's rewrite this, 22 to base 10. Now we have, okay, let's change the ink, 6 base 10, 25 base 10, and 22 base 10. Now in ascending order, we will know that this is ascending in 6 base 10, okay, followed by 22 base 10. Let's write this downwards. 6 base 10 is being followed by 22 base 10, and then also followed by 25 base 10. Now if you look at this option now, it's not in the question, so we'll just have to rewrite them is in terms of the original base. So we can see now that 6 base 10 is equivalent to 110, 110 base 2. 22 base 10 is equivalent to 42 base 5, 42 base 5, base 5 rather, and 25 base 10 is equivalent to 31 base 8. And this is the correct answer, which is equivalent to option B. 110 or 110 base 2 followed by 42 base 5 followed by 31 base 8. And remember, we had to convert everything to base 10 before we knew the order. WAEC 2023 objective question 20. The question says thus that a notebook of length 15 centimeters was measured by a student as 16.8 centimeters. We are to correct to 2 decimal places the percentage error in the measurement. So let's write what we have. We are given that the original length, okay, of the notebook is 15 centimeters. Now is the student measured it to give 16.8 centimeters, probably by parallax error or zero error. Now the error involved in this case will be the measured length minus the original length This you see a lot in your physics questions, and we'll have 16.8 centimeters minus 15, and this is equivalent to 1.8 centimeters. Now if we have the error to give 1.8 centimeters, the question says calculate correct to 2 decimal places the percentage error in the measurement. So what is the formula for percentage error? Percentage error is given as error itself divided by the original length multiplied by 100%. So if we implement this, we have that the percentage error is equals to the error itself, which is 1.8 centimeters, divided by the original, which is 15 centimeters. Okay, we're not adding units because we know that they will cancel out. So this is multiplied by 15, divided by 15 multiplied by 100%. So simplifying this further, you can use our calculator, and we will have 12.00 centimeters, or percentage rather, 12.00%. So this is equivalent to option A.